What's up? Welcome back to another video. I'm Bandit Barney. We're talking about posses today because, well, they play a big role in Red Dead 2 Online. And what should we join one? Should we be a part of them? What's the ups and downs of posses? And there might even be a little way to have some extra fun in Red Dead Online that you don't even know about today. Let's dive in though with some of the basics. Let's say you're pretty new to the game or you just haven't ventured down this posse route before. Let's talk about what you can do to be a part of one. Well, there's two types of posses. There's a temporary and a persistent. Basically, a temporary one is one you can set up in any game you join and allow it for other players to join in. You can choose to either invite them or to leave it open so any player that's looking for a posse can just join in. Now, if you're going with a temporary posse, it's a good way to go. It's fun. And especially if you want to play with other players but don't have people added on PSN or Xbox Live, it's a really good way to find new players on your platform and eventually grow into a persistent posse. And that is, a persistent posse is one that doesn't end. A temporary posse will disembark. Everyone leaves as soon as the leader leaves. The posse's broken up, so it's not one that you can play with those guys again when you join back in. But a persistent posse, one that you pay money to create, is one that you can once again you can set it to invite only or open, and it's one where once a member becomes a part of that posse, if the leader leaves, the posse is not broken up. The posse stays together, and you can play in future games as well. So whatever kind of posse you want to create, first off, get the experience, which is super easy actually in game. All you do is open up your player menu, go to posse, and you can either form one yourself or join one if they're open. Make sure to note when you're doing this though, if the posse you're trying to join is honorable or dishonorable. Because if it's honorable, you may not be able to partake in some of the activities or start them rather if you're a dishonorable character. For example, I'm a dishonorable character. If I join an honorable posse and some member sets a waypoint on a job in a free roam, if that job is an honorable one, then I won't be able to do it. I'm going to be a dishonorable character not being able to engage with the NPC to give us the job. So another player will have to accept that. That's just a quick little heads up. Something we're missing though in the game is posse on posse battles. Now you can do this in free roam and it's a lot of fun, but I want something a little bit more than that. I want posse on posse rivalries where we can rival another posse throughout the game, or mini games where we can go in as a posse and play against other posses on maps with certain, like a dynamite explosives map and or Molotov map or whatever, with different weapons and utilities on a set map where you don't get it interrupted by a rivaling posse picking a noble or dishonorable side. Mini games. That's something that I'm looking for Rockstar to add into it. Until they do, one of the funnest ways to run a posse is either unofficially or when you set up your posse, enable the option for damage to posse members. Now you might be thinking, what? That doesn't sound anything like something I should do. That just sounds stupid. I want to have a posse that it works together, not one that's disruptive. Well, if you remember the story mode of Red Dead 2, you may remember that there's a little bit of friction in between members of that clan, that posse. And it is kind of fun starting a posse. And hey, we might have a Micah here. Or maybe a player decides to take over and creates a mutiny. Now, if this happens and you created the posse, temporary posse, and you allowed friendly member fire, then when you do this, and if the leader gets killed and ends up backing out, it will end the posse. But you can start an unofficial posse. All you got to do is plug in your mic and go to any town. This has worked for me without fail. Convince a few players to join you in fist-to-fist combat. After you partake in this mutual agreement of activity, this mutually agreed upon activity, you'll have a bond that's deep enough to convince these players to go out and rival other posses. Single players unite. We are going to dominate this lobby, and any formal posse will be discouraged by our wrath. It's really fun to join in these games and have a posse where any player can voice their opinion and take it out with shooting one other player or roping them down. And you could have an internal conflict between posses. I like running a posse this way. It just adds a little bit of entertainment to every posse, especially if you have a mic. So, moral of the video. Get out there and play in posses. They're fun to play with friends. You can complete jobs faster. They're fun to do with missions. And in general, playing video games is just more fun with other people. But when you're ready to take things to the next level, allow friendly fire. Start an unofficial posse, a camp of outlaws. Or create a posse and enable that friendly fire check mark to see what kind of micas appear from the dust. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the future.